What happens when a royal guest walks onto a beloved morning show and completely disrespects the host in front of millions of viewers? In just 26 seconds of Prince Harry opening his mouth, Lorraine Kelly knew this interview was about to become the most shocking moment of her entire career. Before we get into this absolute train wreck, make sure you hit that subscribe button right now because we're pulling back the curtain on royalty's dark side, exposing entitled celebrities and their shocking behavior the cameras never showed you. We've got the raw footage they don't want you to see, and you won't want to miss a single reveal. Drop a comment below with your thoughts on this outrageous behavior, because what you're about to hear will leave you speechless. So let's set the scene. It's a regular morning on The Lorraine Show. The studio is bright and warm, filled with that cozy feeling that millions of viewers love waking up to. Lorraine Kelly, the queen of daytime television, is sitting in her usual chair, ready to welcome her guest, with her trademark Scottish warmth and that genuine smile that has made her a household name for decades. The guest walking onto the set, Prince Harry himself. The audience is excited. The cameras are rolling. Everyone is expecting a friendly chat, maybe some laughs, perhaps some touching moments about his charity work. But what they got instead was something nobody could have predicted. Prince Harry walks onto the set, and right away, something feels off. There's no warm smile, no friendly wave to the audience. He sits down in the guest chair with this look on his face like he'd rather be anywhere else in the world. Lorraine, being the professional she is, doesn't let it faze her. She greets him with her usual warmth. "Good morning. It's so lovely to have you here with us today. How are you doing?" Lorraine asks, leaning forward with genuine interest. Prince Harry barely looks at her. He adjusts his jacket and gives this little dismissive wave of his hand. "Yeah, fine," he says flatly. There's this awkward silence, the kind that makes you cringe even watching through a screen. Lorraine's smile doesn't fade, though. She's handled difficult guests before. She's a pro. "Well, we're thrilled to have you here. I know our viewers have been so excited about this interview. There's so much to talk about with your new charity initiative." Lorraine continues, trying to steer things into positive territory. Prince Harry looks directly at the camera instead of at Lorraine. "Can we just get on with this? I've got other things to do today," he says. You can see Lorraine blink in surprise. The audience shifts uncomfortably. This isn't how guests usually behave on her show. This isn't how anyone should behave, royal or not. But Lorraine, bless her, keeps her composure. She nods and shuffles her notes. "Of course, let's dive in then. Your new charity work focuses on mental health awareness for young people. Can you tell us what inspired this particular project?" she asks. Prince Harry sighs. Actually sighs, like the question is beneath him. "Look, I've already talked about this in other interviews. Don't you people do your research?" he snaps. The entire studio goes silent. You could hear a pin drop. Lorraine's producer can be heard off camera, a slight gasp escaping. But Lorraine, she just smiles a little tighter and presses on. "I have done my research, which is why I'm asking. Our viewers might not have seen those other interviews, and they'd love to hear it from you directly," Lorraine says, her voice still kind, but now with a slight edge of steel underneath. Prince Harry leans back in his chair, spreading his arms across the back of it like he owns the place. "Then maybe they should watch better programs," he mutters, just loud enough for the microphone to catch. The audience actually gasps this time. Lorraine's smile finally drops. You can see it in her eyes. That moment where someone who has been nothing but kind and professional decides they've had enough. "I'm sorry, what was that?" Lorraine asks, giving him a chance to take it back. "You heard me," Prince Harry says, looking directly at her now with this challenging expression. "I've done interviews with real journalists. This is just, what do you call it, fluff television? Morning chat show nonsense? I'm only here because my PR team said I had to do it." Lorraine sits up straighter. Her Scottish accent gets a bit thicker, which anyone who knows her knows is a sign she's getting angry. "Real journalists?" she repeats. "I've been in this industry for over 30 years. I've interviewed prime ministers, celebrities, ordinary people with extraordinary stories. I've covered wars, natural disasters, and everything in between. This show might be warm and friendly, but that doesn't make it any less legitimate." Prince Harry actually rolls his eyes. Right there on camera, he rolls his eyes at Lorraine Kelly. "Oh, please, don't get defensive. It's just facts. You ask softball questions and let people plug whatever they're selling. It's not exactly hard-hitting journalism, is it?" he says with this smug little smirk. The audience is starting to murmur now. People are shocked. This is Lorraine Kelly he's talking to. Sweet, lovely Lorraine, who has never been anything but kind to everyone who sits in that chair. Lorraine takes a deep breath. You can see her counting to 10 in her head. My viewers trust me because I treat people with respect and dignity. I create a space where people feel comfortable sharing their stories. If that's not your style, I respect that, but you don't get to come on my show and disrespect me or my audience, she says firmly. Prince Harry laughs, actually laughs in her face. Your audience? You mean the people sitting at home in their pajamas with nothing better to do than watch morning television? I'm sure they're really concerned about hard-hitting journalism, he says sarcastically. That's it. That's the moment. You can see it in Lorraine's face. She's done. You know what? I think we need to address what's happening here. You've come onto my show, a show that millions of people love and trust, and you've been nothing but rude since you sat down. You've insulted me, you've insulted my audience, and you've made it very clear you don't want to be here, Lorraine says, her voice getting stronger with each word. Prince Harry shrugs like none of this matters to him. I told you, my PR team made me come. Do you know how many interviews I've done? I'm tired of answering the same questions over and over, especially on shows like this, he says dismissively. Lorraine leans forward, looking him right in the eyes. Then why did you agree to come? Nobody forced you to walk through that door. If you didn't want to be here, you should have said no. But you don't get to come here and treat people like they're beneath you, she says. Prince Harry's face changes. He's not smirking anymore. He's getting angry now. Beneath me? That's rich, coming from someone who makes a living out of celebrity gossip and cooking segments. He fires back. The audience is fully audible now. People are upset. Someone shouts something supportive at Lorraine. The atmosphere in the studio has completely changed. This interview is about your charity work, which is supposed to be about helping people, about kindness and mental health. But you've shown none of that kindness today. You've been arrogant, dismissive, and frankly, quite cruel, Lorraine says, and you can hear the disappointment in her voice now. Prince Harry stands up suddenly, his chair scraping loudly against the floor. I don't have to sit here and be lectured by you, he says, pointing at her. Lorraine doesn't flinch. She stays seated, calm, and composed. You're absolutely right. You don't have to sit here. In fact, I think it's best if you don't, she says clearly. Prince Harry's mouth drops open. He clearly wasn't expecting that. What? You can't be serious, he says. Lorraine stands up now too, matching his energy but without the aggression. I'm completely serious. I've never asked a guest to leave before in my entire career, but I'm asking you now. This behavior is unacceptable. You've disrespected me, my team, and most importantly, the viewers who were excited to hear from you, she says. Prince Harry looks around like he's expecting someone to step in and save him. His PR handler is gesturing frantically from off stage, but there's nothing they can do now. This is happening live. You realize who I am, right? You're throwing me off your little show, he says. And there's this disbelief in his voice, like he genuinely cannot comprehend that someone is standing up to him. Lorraine crosses her arms. I know exactly who you are, and that's what makes this even more disappointing. You have a platform that millions of people would dream of having. You could use it to make a real difference, to spread kindness, to actually practice what you preach about mental health and compassion. Instead, you've come here and shown us exactly the opposite, she says. Prince Harry's face is getting red now. He's angry, properly angry. How dare you speak to me like that? Do you know what I've been through? The scrutiny, the pressure, the media constantly attacking me, he says, his voice rising. Lorraine doesn't back down, not even an inch. And I'm sympathetic to that. I truly am. But that doesn't give you the right to take it out on other people. It doesn't give you the right to treat people as if they're worthless just because you're having a bad day or you're tired of interviews. Everyone has struggles. Everyone has bad days. But most people still manage to be decent to others, she says. Prince Harry points at her again, more aggressively this time. You have no idea what it's like to be in my position. You sit here in your comfortable little studio with your comfortable little life, and you think you can judge me? He shouts. The security team is moving closer now, just in case things escalate further. Lorraine notices, but she doesn't look away from Prince Harry. I'm not judging your life or your experiences. I'm judging your behavior right here, right now, in this moment. And your behavior has been appalling, she says firmly. Prince Harry laughs again, but it's bitter this time. This is unbelievable. Wait until people hear about this. Wait until the press gets hold of how you've treated me, he threatens. Lorraine gestures to the cameras that are still rolling. They're watching it happen live. Millions of people are seeing exactly what's going on here. They're seeing how I've tried to conduct a respectful interview and how you've responded. Let them judge for themselves, she says. Prince Harry seems to realize then that this isn't going to go the way he thought. The cameras have captured everything. There's no spinning this. Fine, I don't need this. I don't need you or your ridiculous show, he says, starting to storm off the set. But Lorraine isn't done yet. Before you go, I just want to say one more thing, she calls after him. He stops and turns around, glaring at her. What? He snaps. Lorraine takes a breath, and when she speaks, her voice is sad but strong. I really hope that whatever you're going through, whatever is making you behave this way, you get the help and support you need. Because this isn't the person you claim to be. And deep down, I think you know that, she says. For just a second, something flashes across Prince Harry's face. Maybe it's shame, maybe it's anger, maybe it's both. But he doesn't say anything. He just turns and walks off the set, leaving Lorraine standing there alone. The studio is dead silent for a moment. Then, slowly, the audience starts clapping. It starts with one person, then another, then suddenly the whole audience is on their feet, applauding Lorraine. She looks genuinely emotional. You can see her eyes getting a bit watery. She waves at the audience to sit down, trying to compose herself. Well, that was certainly unexpected, she says with a shaky laugh. I'm so sorry you all had to witness that. This is live television, folks. Sometimes things don't go as planned. The audience claps louder. Someone shouts, "We love you, Lorraine." She smiles, wiping at her eyes quickly. Thank you. That's very kind. I want to apologize to anyone who was looking forward to that interview. I know many of you were excited to hear about the charity work, and I'm sorry we didn't get to have that conversation, she says. She sits back down in her chair, taking a moment to collect herself. I've been doing this job for a very long time, and I've always believed in treating people with kindness and respect. I try to create an environment where guests feel comfortable and valued. But respect goes both ways. It has to, she says, looking directly into the camera. I don't care if you're a prince or a plumber, a celebrity or someone we've never heard of. Everyone deserves to be treated with basic human decency. And everyone, no matter who they are, should treat others that way too, she continues. The audience applauds again. Lorraine smiles, looking more like herself now. Right, well, let's move on, shall we? We've got a lovely segment coming up next about rescue dogs looking for their forever homes. Something much more cheerful to lift our spirits, she says with a genuine laugh. But even as she transitions to the next segment, you can see the emotion still there in her eyes. This clearly affected her. Being disrespected like that on live television, having to make the difficult decision to ask someone to leave, especially someone as high profile as Prince Harry, it's not easy. What's remarkable, though, is how she handled it. She didn't lose her temper. She didn't shout or get aggressive. She simply stood her ground, defended herself and her audience, and maintained her dignity throughout the entire confrontation. That's what separates a true professional from everyone else. That's what separates someone who genuinely cares about their work and their audience from someone who's just going through the motions. Prince Harry walked onto that set with an attitude. He made it clear from the very first moment that he didn't want to be there, that he thought the show was beneath him, that Lorraine and her audience weren't worth his time or effort. He insulted her profession, mocked her show, belittled her audience, and showed absolutely no respect for the opportunity he'd been given to speak to millions of people about something he supposedly cares about. And when Lorraine, politely but firmly, called him out on his behavior, he didn't apologize. He didn't reflect on his actions. He didn't take a moment to consider that maybe, just maybe, he was in the wrong. Instead, he doubled down. He got defensive. He made threats. He acted like the victim when he was clearly the aggressor. That's entitlement in its purest form. That's what happens when someone has been told their whole life that they're special, their rules don't apply to them, that they can behave however they want without consequences. But here's the thing about live television. You can't edit it. You can't take it back. You can't have your PR team spin it into something it's not. What happened, happened, and millions of people watched it unfold in real time. They saw a beloved television host try her absolute best to conduct a professional, respectful interview. They saw her remain calm and kind even when she was being treated terribly. And they saw her finally say, "Enough is enough." That moment when Lorraine asked him to leave, you could feel it through the screen. The shock, the surprise, but also the rightness of it. Because sometimes, standing up for yourself and your values is more important than being polite to someone who's treating you badly. Some people might say she should have just let it go. that she should have pushed through the interview, ignored the rudeness, and maintained that fake politeness that we see so often in media. But why? Why should she have to sit there and take abuse just because the person abusing her has a title? Why should her audience have to watch their favorite host be disrespected without consequence? Lorraine made the right call. She showed that no matter who you are, if you can't treat people with basic respect, you don't deserve the platform. And the audience knew it too. That's why they gave her that standing ovation. That's why people were shouting their support, because they recognized authenticity when they saw it. They recognized someone standing up not just for themselves, but for everyone who's ever been made to feel small by someone who thinks they're better than them. Prince Harry came onto that show expecting to be treated like royalty. And technically, yes, he is royalty. But that doesn't mean he gets to treat people like peasants. Lorraine showed him and everyone watching that respect isn't about titles or status. It's about how you treat people. It's about basic human decency. It's about recognizing that the person sitting across from you, whether they're interviewing you on television or serving you coffee or cleaning your house, is a human being worthy of kindness. The saddest part about all of this is what it revealed about Prince Harry's character in that moment. Here's someone who speaks publicly about mental health, about kindness, about compassion, someone who has positioned himself as an advocate for treating people better. Yet when given the opportunity to practice what he preaches, he failed spectacularly. He showed that his public persona and his private behavior are two very different things. And maybe that's the real lesson here. It's easy to talk about kindness. It's easy to give speeches about compassion and understanding. But actually living those values, especially when you're tired or stressed or having a bad day, that's the real test. Lorraine passed that test. Even when she was being insulted and disrespected, she remained professional. She remained kind, right up until the point where she had to draw a line. And even then, even when she was asking him to leave, she wished him well. That's grace under pressure. That's real character. Prince Harry failed that test. He let his frustration and his sense of entitlement override any consideration for the people around him. He forgot, or maybe he never learned, that how you treat people when you think they can't do anything about it says everything about who you really are. The interview that was supposed to showcase his charity work and his commitment to helping others instead became a masterclass in how not to behave. It became a cautionary tale about privilege and entitlement and the importance of treating everyone with respect. And through it all, Lorraine Kelly reminded us why she's been a staple of British television for so many years. Not because she asks softball questions or runs a fluffy morning show, but because she's genuine, she's kind, and she knows when to stand up for what's right. That's the story. That's what happened when a prince forgot his manners and a television host remembered her worth. That's what happens when entitlement meets integrity and integrity wins. So what do you think? Was Lorraine right to kick him off the show? Should she have handled it differently? Drop your comments below, because this is the kind of behavior that we need to talk about. This is the kind of entitlement that needs to be called out, no matter who it's coming from. Make sure you're subscribed, because we'll keep bringing you these stories, the ones that show what really happens behind the scenes, the moments of truth that reveal people's real characters. This wasn't just a bad interview. This was a moment that showed us exactly who these people really are when the mask slips. And thanks to Lorraine Kelly's courage and professionalism, we all got to see it.